This morning, Forbes released its 42nd annual Forbes 400 list. It ranks America's richest people. This year, it shows the group's finances are bouncing back, regaining what was lost in 2022. The net worth for this year's group stands at a mere $4.5 trillion, tying with the record set back in 2021. Let's bring in Chase Peterson-Withorn, who is the senior editor of Wealth at Forbes. Chase, good morning. Good to have you with us. So this is a club you now need to be worth $2.9 billion to get into the top 400. Walk us through the criteria that you consider when ranking the wealthiest people, and talk about the top three in particular.
Yeah, thanks for having me. So it is America's, sort of most elite club. There are more than 350 American billionaires who are too poor to make this list. So this is really sort of the 1% of the 1% of the 1%. We look at everything that goes into a net worth: stocks and bonds and yachts and art and everything that we can find that a billionaire might own. And it's a record year for America's richest people. The richest is still Elon Musk, who's worth $251 billion. And then he's followed by Jeff Bezos of Amazon, who's worth $161 billion. And then Larry Ellison of the software firm Oracle, who's worth $158 billion. So big numbers.
Wow. Honestly, numbers you can barely even wrap your head around. Chase, this year, former President Donald Trump did not make the cut. Tell us about him dropping from the list.
Yeah, so, Donald Trump has been on the list for most of the past 4 decades that we've been doing the list. He dropped off for a few years in the 90s when he was, going through some bankruptcies. But he's basically been on every year since. He fell off a couple years ago. He came back on last year, and the former president is again off the Forbes 400 list. We have his net worth at about $2.6 billion, which makes him $300 million short of making the cut for this list this year.
So, Chase, we saw Michael Jordan became the first athlete to join the list. Cool. Why is the basketball icon on the list? I mean, he's getting his hands in a little bit of everything these days, isn't he?
Yeah, exactly. So, he made about $90 million over the course of his playing career, which is a lot of money, but, not enough to put you anywhere near the Forbes list. But since then, he's made some pretty wise investments. And, the sort of most lucrative of them was buying a majority stake in the Charlotte Hornets NBA team. And he sold a majority stake in the team earlier this year to some private equity guys at a $3 billion valuation, which is 17 times more than the team was worth when he bought in and became the majority shareholder in 2010.
Well, so that was a good move, to say the least. Chase, when you just look at the list as a whole, what does it say sort of about the wealth of the country's richest Americans, who these people are? What's a takeaway here?
Yeah, definitely. So, it's a roadmap for who the wealthiest people are in the country and, therefore who some of the most powerful people are in the country. And you can really get a sense of what's going on in the economy and who's really benefiting from it from looking at this list. And so you'll see, the tech billionaires are up a lot this year. They were down a lot last year. And so you can sort of see a quantification, I guess, of sort of the big rebound in tech stocks and the AI frenzy and all of that. As one example, and you can see sort of older manufacturing fortunes starting to dwindle and things like that. So you can kind of see these seismic shifts and sort of analyze them through the lens of the biggest players in those industries.
All right. Always fascinating to take a look at the list. Chase Peterson-Withorn, thanks so much for joining us this morning. We appreciate it.
Thanks for watching. Stay updated about breaking news and top stories on the NBC News app or follow us on social media.